What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. I'm currently out on the gravel bike doing an easy zone, very low zone 2, borderline zone 1 ride, because I'm on a recovery week. This is actually the last ride of the recovery week before we get into a specialty phase. So pretty excited about that. But what I want to talk to you guys about is this my first Cat 4 race that I did over the weekend at Vista Park that I actually took the win. I won that race solo. I think I had 25 seconds to second place and a minute and a half to the field. It is each lap was like a 1.5 mile loop crit, but it was a little bit different though, because this course has two pretty nice hills. One kicks up to like 9%. So don't worry, you're not gonna have to listen to me talk here the whole time on the phone. We'll actually jump to the computer and do a little bit of a video breakdown, and we'll go over the power numbers and all the good stuff, all the individual efforts that it took for me to win that race. Because I actually didn't just go solo. Oh, I got a little turn here, gotta be careful. I didn't actually, I was forced to go solo from like minute 6 because the guy that actually won the state championship in about a month ago, I was there for the state championship. That was my A race for one of the A races for the year, and I actually took 4th in that day. I was racing pretty much the same people, and I was only good for 4th place. So that's why I'm actually making this video. I don't believe I was much stronger than I was back then, but how did I go from 4th place to actually winning the race from a solo breakaway and actually going head to head with a guy who won the state champs solo? So he tried to go solo again this time, and he actually opened a pretty nice gap, and I just knew I had to go. Our plan with the team was not that, but I had to just think on the fly, and I'm glad I did. I actually breached to him. We kind of got into a little battle, few attacks, and I actually managed to drop him. So what actually got me the win on that race though, I don't think it was the power numbers. I think there's more to it, and that's what I want to make this video, because yeah, I mean, it's not even what you guys are thinking. But we'll jump into the computer, we'll get into the little race breakdown, and I know what you're thinking. Oh, if you don't do the power numbers you did, how are you going to win the race? But that's not the case, guys. I don't think the effort I did and the power I did was exactly what was required to win the race, and you guys will be able to see that on the video breakdown. Alright guys, so here we are at the start line. Now, a little disclaimer before we get into the actual breakdown. I knew I said I was gonna break down the actual efforts and the power numbers and things like that. And the reason why you're not seeing a power and speed overlay and things like that is because this is actually not my footage, this is teammate Eric's footage. I'm standing to the left of him right here. I didn't have a GoPro on at this race. Fun fact, I was riding my road race, my motorcycle on the road track, on the road course, and I put it on the tail facing backwards, and I guess a rock from the hot tire hit the lens of the GoPro, and although it's interchangeable, I ordered one. I didn't get it in time, but I promise for the next races I will have my own POV, my own footage. But for this race I'm going to use his footage, and footage I got from another rider that was there as well, and some of the pictures from the photographers. And I think with that I can do a decent enough job of explaining how the race happened. Trust me guys, I was pretty upset as well after the race when you know how good the race went for me, and not having any footage to put my power overlay and things like that. I was actually pretty bummed out. So with that out of the way, we'll get into the actual race breakdown. I had two teammates here, Eric, which is the footage that you're watching, and Daniel, he was standing to the left of me. The plan for this race was for me to sit in for most of the race and then try to go either solo from a small breakaway on the second half of the race, just because the course suits me better. I'm about 155, 156 pounds, and I got an okay watt per kg. So the fact that there's these two pretty nice hills, the course actually suits me pretty well. So here we see the race start, and they just went full gas off the start. I actually got caught off guard. I'm still behind Eric, and you can see how strung out the field is. I got caught off guard for the fact that we were standing at the line for so long that when I looked down, my computer was off. So being careful after I clipped in and we were rolling, I looked down, turned the computer on and started the activity. But you can see there's already gaps opening up. Look how far and strung out the field is. They're already going down. This is the first hill after start finish. Then we'll make a left from here. But I still have not come around Eric. I think I'm not even close to being behind Eric at this point, if I remember right. And you can see where the front is. There's already two guys who are breaking away from the field. And the guy who started everything, because he started from the front, it was the yellow jersey. This is actually a series. This is just my first time racing with them, so I'm not on any of the standings. So here we go. There's the this is from the other rider who was actually sitting towards the front. You can see that guy who's, full gas, breaking up the group. That's actually the yellow jersey. And I don't know what he was thinking. If you have the yellow jersey, you are a marked man. You aren't they're not gonna just let you ride away from the front on your own. So they end up catching him, and we'll keep an eye on this red team right in front of us, because they're actually the one who I was looking for. The guy right here to the right with the white socks and the red shoes, he was the one that won the state championship a month prior to this. So I raced him. That day I finished fourth, like I mentioned on the intro. He actually ends up going solo again. They catch the yellow jersey guy right away. He's got 5 teammates on this field. And right here, as soon as they make this left, you'll see they already got a gap. One of his teammates got a gap, and he ends up reaching up to his teammate, and they end up going solo from lap 1. You can see him right over there reaching, trying to breach the gap to his teammate. And at this point, I'm so far back, guys. I have no idea what was happening at this point. There's another teammate right here coming up to the front. What I did notice was, as soon as I kind of moved up a little bit, I noticed I had no idea that he was the one up the front, but I could tell that the red team was kind of slowing the pace down. And then that's when I noticed that it was him up the front with the teammate. So at that point, I was like, oh boy, this is not good. Him and his teammate are just going to work together, because why would they not? They're both teammates. They're going to go 100% full gas, no holding back, and the race is over. But what actually ends up happening, and I don't know if this was their plan or it actually just played out that way, his teammate just kind of put in a big dig to pull him away from the field for like a lap or two or so, and opened up like a 25-30 second gap, and then his teammate just started dropping back. So at this point, I'm actually noticing the danger here, and you'll see me move up on the left. And I didn't want to be that far back. There was guys, I think there was like 35 riders in this field. So I didn't want to be too far back, because I know the field was always going to end up breaking on the hill. And you'll probably see me, if I remember right here, on the left, moving up. Let's see here. I think I'm moving up on the left. And yeah, you can see me right there, moving up on the left. Black and red gear, white shoes, Trek Madone. Yeah, you'll see me right there. And I'm actually just kind of moving up the front, because I see the danger, and I realized that it was those two guys from the same team. As I was moving up the field, I was looking for the guys in red, and I did not see the guy who I had marked, who won the state championship solo. So as soon as I noticed that, I kind of got in the front, especially going down the hill. It doesn't take that much watts. I just kind of kept the pressure on the pedals, and I was actually first right now. You can see everybody still pedaling, because I'm just kind of trying to keep the speed up. I don't want the gap to get any bigger, but I'm at the same time, I know I cannot launch an attack going down the hill. That's kind of wasted energy. So as soon as we make the left here, we go into another little kicker. You can see me up the front. I'm actually first wheel trying to close the gap to a little rider in pink. I don't attack on this hill either. I don't feel like it's hard enough. It's just a little kicker. Maybe it's a little bit longer, but it's not, the gradient is pretty gradual. I don't remember what it is. And that's where the start finish is. So you can see me right here, everybody. Everybody's out of the saddle, putting a lot of power. Here's the other rider on the left. And you can see me over to the left right here, to the right, I'm sorry. You can see me right here on the right. I'm just kind of pedaling up the hill, putting some power down, but not out of the saddle, not going crazy. So you can see me right here also. We'll go back to Eric's footage right now. Daniel is on my wheel, and I'm pretty far back still, guys. I'm still trying to be patient, but at the same time, I know I have to
I know it's go time. It's either now or never. So Eric comes around. Eric goes straight to the front, and I actually come around the two rider. As soon as I see him come around, I see a gap, and I shoot the gap between the two riders, and I go from the right side, as you can see him right here on the right. And then I see Eric come around, and you'll see the gap between the guy in blue and the guy in pink. And I actually shoot that gap in between, and I get on his wheel. And Eric, like a boss, just goes straight to the front. And I actually don't want to be on that close to the front, but I knew I had to do something. So I actually went to the right with the Cervelo rider, and I sat on his wheel, which actually ends up working perfectly, which you're going to see now. So Eric goes past this rider, who's actually the other camera rider where I got the footage from. So thanks to him for allowing me to use his footage for this race breakdown. So as you're going up this hill, if you don't put in a lot of power, you normally get swarmed. So here's Eric behind the 305 rider. He's just smashing watts up the hill. And the guy that I sat behind when I passed Eric, he actually just smashes it up the left right here. You see him sprinting out of the saddle, and I'm just very, comfortably sitting on his wheel. I never got out of the saddle. I did put a lot of power down, but I never got out of the saddle, and he just either blew up or I don't know what his plan was there, but thank you for the little pull over there, my boy. He actually pulls up to the right, and I kept the pressure on the pedals, and I immediately have a gap. And from there on, I knew I had to keep the gap. I knew I had to go solo. So that little attack ends up working pretty well, and I managed to establish a gap. And for the next 30 minutes, I put in a pretty big dig, and I chased the guy out the front. Well, before I got to him, his teammate that was on the way back to the field, probably to help the rest of the team slow the pace down so he could win solo, I end up catching him, and he just gets on my wheel. I did not get too concerned. I could tell that he was pretty cooked from the effort that he just put in. So what I did was on the flats, I kind of held the pace a little bit, and I kind of pressed on the little kickers, and I end up shaking him off my wheel and kept on going solo. So for the next 30 minutes to catch that solo rider, I end up doing 317 watts normalized. And I'm going to be talking about normalized here because obviously the two kickers and then the two downhills, you don't put as much pressure. Now, what I actually helped me establish a gap, and I think it's something that is pretty smart, is that you could tell on the video every time the field goes up the kicker, especially the bigger one on the back, they go so hard going up the hill that they just stop pedaling as soon as they get to the top. So what I was doing was I was still doing pretty good power going up the hill, but still holding a little bit back, that I knew that when I got to the top, I could still pedal and keep the pressure down to actually keep the speed going down the hill, because you're not going to make that much time going up the hill, but you could make a lot of time going down if you're still a little bit on the power and putting a little bit of power down. So I end up catching the rider of the front. We only worked together for about 2 laps. And apparently there was a preem that I was not aware. I didn't care about the preem. I wanted to win the race. And as we're going up the little hill to the finish line, he attacks me. As soon as I finish my pull, I elbow him through, and he actually attacks me pretty hard. To respond to him, I think I snapped like a little bit over 1100 watts. And I'm not going to lie, guys, I was pretty cooked at that time. He didn't really let me recover much. He kind of started attacking me right away. Yeah, at that time, I'm not going to lie, my first thought was, well, second place sounds pretty good. I put a lot of effort to get here. But at the same time, I just immediately snapped back and I said, F no. I didn't come this far to settle for a second place. And I actually, before we got down the hill, so right here where you see in the video, this is like a little flat area, I actually managed to get on his wheel again. And I could tell that really broke him down right there. He looked back, he was pretty cooked. He actually looked back and gives me like a fist bump, and I was like, "Oh no, boy, you just ruined his breakaway." So at this point, you know that the trust is broken. He's just thinking about winning alone, and we're only about 35, not even 40 minutes into the race, so we still got a nice 15 minutes, which is about 3 laps. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty cooked as well. But as soon as we got to the hill here, which you're about to see on the video, or actually you're about to see it from the field, not when it actually happened. As soon as I started acting dumb, I pulled out my water bottle. I sat on his wheel like, no, you attack me now, you're gonna pull in the front, I'm just gonna sit on your wheel. And as soon as we got right here, he moves over to the right to force me to pull, and I actually snapped and went left, and I knew I had to immediately attack him. I think I did a little bit over 1200 watts, and I remember my bike just jumped off the ground, both wheels. I put in a pretty nice dig up the hill. I never looked back until I got to the top of the hill, and I could just tell he was just cracked. From there on, I just pressed on for the next 5 minutes to open up and establish a nice gap. That took an MP of 390 watts. And for the last 10 minutes, which the gap grew to 25 seconds to second place, and that was in about 2 laps, and about a minute and a half to the field, I did an MP of 350. So I ended up taking the dub, guys, and I was so happy. But if you made it this far, I really appreciate that. But now I want to get into what I actually think got me the win. And you might be thinking I'm crazy. You already told us the power number you did, the strategy and everything you did. Actually, I wouldn't say that was even a strategy. That was just me reacting on the fly, and that's what I want to get to. And the video is a little bit longer than I would wanted to, but I feel like I had to explain the race pretty well. And the fact that I was here racing the same course, guys, about a month before this, and I came into that race 100% more. Ooh, there's my teammate comes together with this guy here. I actually came to that race way more prepared than this. For not power wise, but the fact that I did a taper, I carb loaded, I did everything, guys, to take the state championship jersey. That was a big goal for me this year. So I actually only ended up going fourth that day, and was not because of power. I felt good that day as well. Now, what was the difference? That a month later I pretty much raced the same guys, even a bigger field than that day, I'm pretty sure, and I end up taking the dub. I go head to head with the same guy who won that state championship jersey solo, and I actually end up beating him. And I thought about it the whole way home, and I was talking to my fiance about it. And guys, I think it was not only obviously the commitment and your training, because I know there's a lot of you out there who are very strong, just like I am. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm very strong, but you know, very capable cyclist for the time I've been racing and cycling. But I know there's a lot of you guys out there who train hard and just like me, and are not getting those race results, guys. And I think it all comes down to confidence. Yep. That's what I believe 100% got me the win on this race. Now, let me explain why. A month before, like I said, I was here. I actually had a nice gap on that race. I'm going to put the video right here so you guys can watch it. I had a pretty nice gap, and what ends up happening is I didn't believe in myself, guys. I didn't have enough belief. I didn't believe that I could do it. I didn't have a team behind me who said, you could do it, you're going to win this race today. I just didn't believe in myself. First of all, I didn't believe in myself. I didn't have the confidence. I didn't believe that I could do it. So I just soft pedal and went back to the field. Then a counterattack ends up happening. The guy goes solo, ends up winning. I end up coming in fourth. So having this group of people around you who tell you, you got this, you're going to win, we're going to work for you, we believe in you. And then actually you believing in yourself, believing that you could do it, believe that you did the training and that you are prepared. That's what got me the win on this race, guys. When I went solo off the front, the first thought on my head was like, oh man, the plan with Eric and the team was for me to sit in. We're 6 minutes in, I'm already going off solo. This is just not going to work. But at that time, I was like, no, this is actually what happened on the state championship, and I ended up losing that race. If I don't go right now, same thing is going to happen on this race. So guys, it all comes down to confidence. It all comes down to believing in yourself. Now, you don't have to be cocky. You just have to be confident. And that's what I believe 1,000%, guys, got me the win on this race. So I know it's not the end all be all, like I said, but if you made it this far just to hear this, guys, just know, believe in yourself. You got this. Trust me, if you did the training, if you know you're ready, you got this, guys. I came into this race after a 6-week training block. I did a threshold session the day before. I was pretty cooked. I came to the race with not that much expectations. I'm competitive. I wanted to go for the win, of course, but I did not come into the race, oh, I'm gonna win, this is my race, this is it. No, I actually came in confident because I had a nice team. I had a good group of people around me, but at the same time, I was not cocky. I was just confident, and that's what I believe, guys, got me the win on this race. So that's it for this race breakdown. I promise you guys that next time I will have my actual footage, and we'll put the power overlay, and we'll be able to do a better breakdown. Hopefully this was good enough for you guys, and if you did enjoy that, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel to let me know that you guys actually enjoyed that. And yeah guys, and if you want to watch a couple other videos that I have, from 100-mile anaerobic effort session I did back when I got my gravel bike, I'll leave that on the description. And if you want to watch Eric's full race footage, I'll leave his link on the description as well, so you can watch his actual race footage and subscribe to his channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.